heaviest he's ever been, so there's room to move. I just hope he does what he does at home.
Yeah, it's good to see everyone come out and support the horse, and he's added another dimension to the race.
You know, he hasn't been away from Sha Tin. That's his only track, so to have a look around here was very, very good for him. At Sha Tin, he gets very edgy in the mornings going through the tunnels with all the horses, and then when Zach or whoever's riding him drops over his neck, he relaxes straight away. And I think that was a bit typical of YING today. He'll be better on race day, but he'll have to be because it's going to be 50,000 people here. I think the dress rehearsal's been a big thing, big help for him.
Well, he's going to need to beat his best. The Australian sprinters are world class, they're the best in the world, and we've had to travel down here to try and take them on a track that is probably not really to our preference. At Sha Tin, the track's a lot firmer and a lot faster, and as we've seen today, it was a bit softer, which he's not used to. But, you know, that's a challenge that we wanted to take, and we look forward to it.
The richest race on turf. Number 1, YING Rising, Zach Purton and David Hayes.
And they're off in the tab Everest, and overpass began fast as expected. YING Rising's right there, and now Marzu is whipping up underneath the pair.
Overpass, skipped the home early, and I had to chase him. But to my horse's credit, he wasn't letting him go. He got the better of me in the trial. He said, he's not going to get better of me in the race. So he chased him down, and then we just coasted the line after that.
YING Rising stoked up. Purton says, come on, boy, show the Aussies what you've got. YING Rising moved up to overpass, clear from Jimmy Star, but YING Rising, champions do what others can't. He's the world's best sprinter, no doubt. YING Rising won the Everest.
The champion sprinter has travelled across the world and has won the world's richest race on turf. Zach Purton and David Hayes have conquered the mountain.
Great ride by Zach, and I would have been shattered if he lost today. Truth be known, I think there's more to come with this horse. So, but it's certainly the biggest thrill in my life, and it's been the longest 10 days in my life, I think. And I really just have to thank the Chinese boys who've come out with the horse. Haven't missed a beat with him, and they've just done a wonderful effort.
Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new edition of the Triple Trio. We are still basking in the glory of YING Rising, winning the Everest with the best form analyst in Clint Hutchison and the Hall of Famer in Raymond Shane Dye. YING Rising was magnificent.
Yeah, what a day at the races, and congratulations, of course, the ATC. It was a fantastic day. Atmosphere was unbelievable. And we got what we wanted with a win with little YING.
Yeah, there we've got little YING in front of us. Shane, maybe he wasn't at his absolute best, but he was still too good.
Not maybe, definitely he wasn't at his best, but he was just too good. It made me realise before the race, a lot of Australians and press and people don't understand world racing and how good he was. Like there's 2 instances, and I'm sure you heard about it. One was he won't handle the pressure. I rode at the top in Australia, at the top in Hong Kong. There's far more pressure in Hong Kong racing than Australian racing, by 100 yards. Australian racing doesn't have a lot of pressure early outside the golden slipper in most races. Hong Kong does. So they got that one completely wrong. And then it was the class of horse. Well, look, the class of horse in Hong Kong is outstanding. How can they say that here? He's a champion. It had me beat. Go back to Cape of Good Hope. Silent Witness was beating Cape of Good Hope 5 lengths every time. Cape of Good Hope come to Australia. It won the Australian Stakes, run 3rd, just got beat behind Alingi and Fastnet Rock and the Lightning. Went to England, won a Group 1 race. So they should realise, even though it was getting beat 5 lengths, how good Silent Witness was. But the stuff I was reading before the race was so off track, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, well, you're rewarded if you followed maybe at fixed odds on YING Rising and the champ was able to win. I tell you what, the turnover was unbelievable from a world pool point of view. Broke all records.
It did. And, you know, Hazy and Zach were great with their
Brilliant.
time.
Yeah,
really
well
promoted the race. And we might see him back next year as well. But, yeah, it was a bumper day in terms of numbers. And that's what we want to see. We want to see these big pools where you can attack. And I think you'll get a little more respect next year if he does come down. The only disappointing thing I had was him getting booed on the way down to the start.
Surely
he was.
Surely not.
Gee
whiz,
he was. He's a champion. You got to respect your champions, Richo.
Who the hell was booing? Whatever you do, give us 20 push-ups because that is a disgrace. What wasn't a disgrace was the team's performance last week. Check it out.
I think My Wishes will be tough to beat.
Beauty Joy through the centre, moments in time, but it's My Wish. Group 3 first up, Group 2 second up. He wins the Chartin Trophy.
Outside of that, I think HUTCHI'S Stars, he'll be called up on the leader's back. I think he'll be pretty hard to beat back to 1,200 metres.
Yeah. Sky Joy on the outside, Infinite Resolve. Star Rises wider out, but it's Patch of Stars in front of Sky Joy, Infinite Resolve, and Patch of Stars heavily backed and wins.
He put a few together, 3 good runs in a row at the end of the season, and now he's out to the mile with the blinkers. I think he'll be pretty competitive. Probably that's my recommendation from the Hayes team for the day.
Hope Cody leads over Max Q. Fortune Boy's getting through now from Beauty Bolt and Sky Vino late, but Fortune Boy, he's through and he wins.
So that was last week, and now we launch into this week, and our very special star power guest is the one and only Hugh Bowman, arriving in Australia to ride in the Cox Plate, and of course with a solid book of rides on Sunday. We'll find you a stack of winners on Sunday. The Idol, HUTCHI'S, form files, we've literally got it all. Strap yourself in, let's find some winners. Chartin on Sunday, and we'll start with the Group 2 race here, Hutch, and it's wonderful to have HELIOS Express back at the races. Hugh Bowman's in the saddle. Who have you got on top?
Yeah, it's really good to have him back, isn't it? Been runner-up so many times behind the champ himself, YING Rising. In this race, handicap conditions, I've actually got the 13 Tomodachi Kokoro mark favourite, just over that $5 mark, ahead of Lucky With You, who looks to map well. Think he'll give a really good account. Outside of that, Bottom Up Together is another one at a good value price that I think can run a bit of a race. But we're getting back to HELIOS Express, and this is a galloper that last year in this race, he set some unbelievable sectionals late in the race. And I think the barrier this time around, Shane, really helps him out, really helps you with that weight to get a nice economical run.
He's going to get back a little bit, but he might be midfield instead of being back third, fourth, second last. He's outstanding. If you don't know him in Australia, this is the horse that keeps running second to YING Rising, and he's very, very good. He's going to run a race here for sure.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to whether or not they start to travel with him, because you're right, he has been the consummate bridesmaid. He's been sort of like the Hay-list to Black Caviar.
That he has been, and we'll see him winning the Chartin Vase as well. I mean, he really levelled out well. I mean, the issue is more so the weight. He can run well, really well fresh. He lets down beautifully. Invincible Sage has probably got a little bit to improve on the back of that. I think Lucky With You is a really interesting runner this time, Shane, as well. Lucky With You is a horse that I thought trialled well since that first up run, and he should get a nice run in this race.
Yeah, he trialled better, definitely trialled better after the first run. What's he got? Gate 4. He won't get all the way back like he can, because he's a horse who's barrier dictated to. So if he draws wide, he's back. If he's drawn in, he can race, say, 5th or 6th. He's definitely not the worst, Clint.
Okay, and what about Fast Network as we look at the replay of the Group 3 National Day Cup over 1,000 metres at Chartin? Fast Network draws a wide gate.
Yeah, that's an issue. I would have loved to have seen him draw a barrier. I love the win down the straight second up, and they went forward with him first up the season. Excuse. Great win on the wrong part of the track second up. And then this time they're just going to have to be negative out of the gates. Raging Blizzard was unlucky in that contest. I think Magic Control at this level is better suited over shorter. And Wonder Bar as well's another one that is probably going to find it difficult from the gate. But Shane, Fast Networks, he's a nice horse going forward.
Yes, he is. Here's Tomodachi Kokoro just racing, of course, and he's been very impressive, Clint. He's got the right gait, and the horses inside of him, 3 of them don't have pace. I know Bottom Up Together's got pace and could lead, so he'll just track him behind him. And at the weights, even though he's out of the handicap, he's got a great chance.
Yeah, so Hutchie, your numbers are 13, 3, 1 and 11. Shane, how did you see it? Do you agree with Hutch that Tomodachi Kokoro, or are you going outside him?
Oh, no, I agree. He can win, even though it's a lot tougher than he's been running. And I'm going to go Fast Network. I think gate 12 doesn't help him, but it does in another sense. He's got to go back. And I think he's better when he goes back. He can really quicken. Doesn't get in as well at the weights, of course, but he gets his chance to get back and charge late. So I'm going to go him, of course, from the bottom one, Tomorrow Tomodachi Kokoro.
Yep.
And then HELIOS Express, number 1, who won't be far away. But the 135 pounds, as Clint said, is a worry.
Yeah, it is a steadier, isn't it? Let's go back to race number 6, and this is the Panasonic Cup, and it's over a mile, class 2 here. Who have you got on top?
Always a good race to try and win. Mark favourite, Honlock Golf. I'm really keen on this horse. He's got a great winning profile. Gee, Harry Bentley's got a good chance to win both races. So I think that he's the one to beat. Johannes Brahms with Zuck on board. A nice barrier draw. Got him marked in single figures as well, around that $7 mark. Outside of that, a Ruby Lot for Hugh Bowman. And outside of that, I think we have Mark Wynn as well. Interesting race we'll take a look at. Richo steps ahead. Now, there wasn't much pace in this race, Shane. They went slow. They sprinted home. I thought Honlock Golf's run was really good under the circumstances, with a forgive for Huge Wave, who went forward early as well.
Yeah, he didn't trial very good the other day, but he never trials great, this horse. But he's very consistent race day, and he always runs well. The mile suits him. He seems as though he really wants it now, and he's got a great chance. I think Steps Ahead's going to be hard to beat too, Clint. I know he's got an outside gate, but he's going to go forward, and he could lob into a nice posse forward.
Yeah. He was really well back last start as well.
Yeah. And Huey Bowman's assessment of Ruby Lot's going to be interesting coming up in the show. What did you make of it?
Well, this was a fantastic finishing burst from Ruby Lot. I think he ran the best final 400 at the meeting at around 22 seconds. Johannes Brahms will need to improve, but you've got Zach on board. And Ruby Lot, Shane, he ran on really well here, and he's a horse that I think is suited second up and trip.
Well, of course, he was near favourite for the Derby last year. He won one of the lead-ups. He goes well. He's got to go back from the gate, and he'll be charging late. But he has got that big weight here, Clint, 135 pounds, and that's just a little bit of a worry for me. But he's going to run well, you would think.
Horse that won at the end of last season, Richo, was Bundle Award.
Yeah. Andrea Etzeni,
Yeah, and he's another horse. He's better probably over further. He's got a really good turn of foot. Massive Sovereign, I think, Shane, just the mile sharp enough for him. And I think it's much the same for Bundle Award. They're both nice horses, but I don't know about them in this race over a mile.
That's interesting.
Yeah, well, he's been trialling really well. He's had 2 trials, Massive Sovereign, and gone well both times. He only had the 2 runs last season, you got to remember, but he does go well fresh. Gate 10, he's going to get back, but he will be running on. But can he win a mile first up with 135 pounds? Off not racing much last season. It's going to be difficult, but his trials have been good.
Golden Boy, Billy Idol. Who have you got on top?
I'm going to go Steps Ahead on top from...
Yeah, you've got Ruby Lot in for second. So 8 steps ahead of 2 Ruby Lot, 4 in Honlock Golf, and then Johannes Brahms is a really interesting runner. Let's make our way forward to race number 9 here. Hutch, who have you got on top?
Yeah, look, good race. Fast responder. I really like Hugh Bowman down the straight as well. And this horse has been ready to win for a while. I think it's a really good booking for him. Outside of that, I think Alpha Strike, Alfonso, they're both very interesting entrants into this race. And, you know, you've got to give Metro Power a bit of a chance as well. Key form reference, Shane, is Wonder Star winning last start. I didn't get this race right at all. I got plenty wrong in it. Casa of Honor was good. Chill Buddy was good. Wonder Star's going to find it harder here at the weights. What was your take on the race?
Well, Fast Response just got held up a bit here at the worst time possible with 300, but he battled on well after that. I think you could run that race 3 or 4 times and you always get a different winner up the straight. I didn't mind the run of a horse called Quick Money, which was back in the field and running on, and he looked good late. Now, he's got gate 13 here. He's going to be in behind, of course, but with the weight difference to Wonder Star, I think he can run a race here at bigger odds.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so he might get some sort of a price there.
Yeah, former Griffin, you will get a price, but that barrier is really going to help him draw him where he has. The runner that ties it all in is Fast Responder. Here's another replay of him finishing alongside Alfonso. Alfonso should be there or thereabouts. Didn't mind this performance. And of course, Ace Champion wasn't a million miles away either. But I think the previous form race might be more interesting than trying to find the winner, but there is a newcomer in the race as well.
Yeah, called Alpha Strike. So formerly it was known as Commend, and it was trained by Chris and Corey Muntz up in Queensland. What are we expecting?
Well, his trials seemed nice enough, Shane. I didn't mind his win in Queensland. He's only had 1 start for a win. What did you make of the trial?
He won very easy in Queensland. His trials have been good. He hasn't done anything wrong. he ran a bit of time in a couple of them. So gate 9, he'll be up there and he'll give a show for a while. But it's always hard to win first up from an overseas, new horses coming in, I should be saying.
So Golden Boy, you're going with Quick Money on top, the 13.
I'm going to go Quick Money. What have I got written here? Quick Money on top from the 11, Alzonzo, who never goes bad up the straight. He's got the right gate. I'm going to throw a roughie in here. Sparkling Fella, gate 11. He goes well up the straight, and Fresh, he goes well, and his trials have been okay. But listen, you could have, and Casper's horse, Alpha Strike, and Fast Responder. It's an open race, this Clint. Very open.
Yeah, I think you can make a case for quite a few.
So over 1,000 metres, drawing high barriers is a plus in your eyes?
It is the plus. It will be the plus again. But it's a competitive race, Richo, so I think it'll be a good race to maybe play some Quinellas. Yeah, I know you love a Quinella.
Oh, I love a Q. Don't worry about that, especially in Hong Kong. Our star power guest is the one and only Hugh Bowman.
All I wanted to be when I was a little boy was be a jockey. To be here riding on this stage is one thing, but to win a race like this, I can't tell you how much it means, and I'm so thankful, obviously, to Chris Waller and the connections of the horse, but to my family and friends that are here, my 2 little girls at home, and Julie, my wife Christine's here. It's just I just can't believe it, to be honest.
They're off. And Winks jumped okay with the cleaner. Hard and reel away brilliantly. He's out having a peep for the lead. Winks got the dream run and shot to the lead from the cleaner. Winks is away and gone round the home turn. 3 lengths in front of Highland Reel, Criterion, and then came the cleaner. But Winks is well clear from Criterion and Highland Reel. Winks kept going by Hugh Bowman. What a win! Winks has bolted in the Cox Plate by 4 lengths, but it's all Winks in the straight. 4-5 lengths in front of Hartnell. A good battle going on for the miners, but this is a blitz. It's a Winks blitz. 2 in a row, and she joins the all-time greats of the turf.
200 to go. Humidor to the outside. It's Winks in front by a length. Humidor on the outside is trying hard. It's Winks in front. Humidor's coming at her. Winks is holding on. The great mare completes the great trilogy of the turf. It's Winks in front by a length. Ben Battle's going with her. Winks 3 corners, Ben Battle. Winks is staving off Ben Battle. Cometh the hour. Cometh the legend. Greatness. Winks has done it. It's F1 Utopia.
Well, let's talk Cox Plate with our star power guest in the one and only Hugh Bowman, who has won the great race on 4 occasions on a super freak in Winks. Hughie, thanks for being our special guest. And this time of the year, those beautiful memories just keep flooding back, mate.
Richard, they do indeed. It's really great to be back in Melbourne, and Australia for that matter, and really looking forward to tomorrow's Cox Plate.
Oh, you wish you were jumping on the mighty mare Winks, though. You're going to be on a different mare, but she was just one out of the box. We had a great opportunity to reminisce about her with Chris Waller last night at the chairman's dinner, so she will never ever be forgotten.
Of course not. No, she lives in all our memories with a great deal of fondness, and it's a really good feeling to go back to Moonee Valley. I was there this morning for a brief time for a media call and had a look at the track. It looks amazing, actually. So races there this evening and the main event tomorrow afternoon. So, like I said, it's great to be back, and I'm really thankful to Chris Waller and his team for providing me the opportunity to come back and ride this filly or mare. And it's a really interesting race. I'll be interested to get your take on it, actually.
Well, we'll give our take in a moment or two, but just quickly, what was your take on the field? A smaller field, void of a little bit of tempo, could be quite tactical, Huey. I think Aeliana, she's in the mix, I suppose, with them on their recent form. A lot of them have got form that ties in.
I think it all ties in. I think it's all a bit inconclusive because of the slow pace that the lead-ups have been run at. So I think, Yeah, it's a really interesting race, as I said. So it's going to be a tactical event. And if you've got some answers for me, I'd love to know.
Where it's going to be interesting, and Hugh, you've touched on a great point. We know how strong she is at 2,400 metres because she's a Derby winner, this 4-year-old mare. But if it's a stop-start, you know, whether or not she can accelerate with some of the others, that's where it's going to be hard.
I think, my take on it is this year. I think it's interesting with Antino. I think he's the key runner because if he jumps well, I think you'll see Blake being positive, and I think he'll be picking it up at about 800, 900 from home. I think Treasure of the Moment will be close in the run as well. So a lot of the, I think Light Infantryman is one that could probably press on, but I don't think they'll go quick unless Antino's there. And I think you'll see Blake do something a little different. I know a few of them have thought he might be patient early, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the key to that race. And if you can have your mare a little bit closer, she's right in the game.
Yeah, well, that'll depend on the pace, won't it, and what the others do. So, I mean, it's easy to say where you want to be and, you know, where you need to be to win, but it's directly related to the pace that they go and what the other riders do in the circumstances. But we all know Blake is a brilliant tactician and, you know, he might just lead the way, but as in the tactics-wise, not necessarily the race. But, yeah, like I said, it is. There's more questions than answers, and we're not going to know until the gates open. And I'm sure everyone will be keeping their cards close to their chest, and I can show you mine because I don't have any. So I don't know what the others are going to do.
I was going to say, it might be advantage you because you never go off maps or anything. You go off feel and the way, and that's just standard for you anyway.
Yeah, I'm not totally oblivious to tactics and pre-race planning. Obviously, I have scenarios that I consider.
It's actually pretty easy with your mare. She's one-dimensional. You're just going to be tracking them and hoping they go too far from home and you're tracking up behind them and they get over top of them. I think the one mistake Blake could make if he does it is take off too soon when he's tracking Viva Festina. It wouldn't surprise me if he went forward and led. That wouldn't be a surprise. But if he's tracking her and he goes at the school, which is 800 from home, I think it's too far from home to go on him. He's got a better, shorter sprint than Viva Festina. So he doesn't want to turn it into a staying test with her, especially after what she did last year. She was awesome last year, Huey, and hopefully you're tracking up and behind. These two get into a contest and you get them late.
Well, that'd be the ideal scenario. And, you know, I think if it is more of a stamina test, it will be to the advantage of the mare I'm riding. It will also be, of course, an advantage to Via Sistina. So,
yes.
I mean, we shouldn't forget the others. I think Treasure of the Moment has got the draw to just mind her own business until the business end of the race. And she's shown the class she has. She's probably got increase in her ratings a little bit on her previous couple of runs, but there's no reason why she can't. So I actually think the entire field will appreciate a more genuine, even pace than what we've seen in the lead-up. So
yeah,
we'll have to wait and see.
It's going to be fascinating. Here's your quick selections here, Hutch, and also Golden Boy.
Yeah, I like Antino, I like Treasure of the Moment. I think those are the two in the race. No knock on Via Sistina. Her best is good enough. I'm just not sure she's quite up to that. I think the Turnbull's the best form and Antino was the best run in that race, so it might be the horse to beat.
Shane, your thoughts?
I've got Viva Festina. I know Chris Waller gets his horses to peak on the right day. If it's not if it's not the horse's second run, they seem to go backwards for some reason. This isn't. He'll have a fit. I just remember what she did last year. Of course, Antino. And I'm putting Nepotism in the bottom one. 49.5 kilos. His run in the Caulfield Guineas was outstanding, and he had a quiet run. Now, whether he runs 2,000 metres, that's debatable because he's bred to sprint, but he looks as though he will. He's not the worst.
Our star power guest is Hugh Bowman. And Hugh, let's turn our attention to Hong Kong, mate. 8 wins for the season so far. How have you seen it?
I'd like to build up on that a little bit, to be brutally honest. I think it's been a healthy start, but I think I could have done better. And I'll be looking to resurrect that over the coming month or 6 weeks.
Well, you've got a book of 8 on Sunday, so you're going to be a busy young lad.
There's a couple in particular. Firstly, your thoughts on this war horse, Helios. I mean, he's run into a world champ, but he's a horse that looks like he's got another good chance, and you'd be loving the barrier, wouldn't you? You could probably just land that little bit closer this time without working.
Well, it gives him the opportunity to take this midfield spot.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't stake him up early because he's a very competitive individual, and you won't see the best of him if I'm too positive early. But he's brilliant out of the gates most of the time, and when I draw wide, I've really got no opportunity or no option but to go back. So this will negate that necessity, and he can settle where he's comfortable depending on how quick they go. He is first up though, so there's improvement to come, and he's got the big weight, so he's got a little bit against him as far as winning this race. But the horse is going really well. His trials have been good, and if he gets the right circumstances, he's going well enough to win the race.
Hey, Ruby Lott's a really interesting runner as well, Hugh. What can you tell us about him?
Well, I thought he was as good as My Wish first up, actually. He missed the race last weekend because he didn't make the field, so they changed the rating band for this race to allow a couple of these horses to have a race, and the horse is flying. So I think he's one. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him win.
And you got 2 other good chances: Fast Responder and Six Pack for Douglas White.
Fast Responder was. Yeah. Both horses have been good this time in. Six Pack was unreal. First up, Fast Responder also in fine fettle. So, all 4 of those horses you mentioned are capable. They're winning chances, but certainly would expect to see them in the first 3 or 4.
Oh, fantastic, Hugh, mate. We look forward to cheering you on. Good luck for what's going to be an amazing Cox Plate Day, and then jumping on a plane and 8 rides on Sunday. So you're going to have a huge weekend, mate. And from an Australian point of view, you sit on 99 Australian Group 1. So you want to join that 100 Australian club as well, mate. Great to have you as part of our team today, and good luck.
Thanks very much, Richo. Pleasure to be on the show.
What a star he is. The one and only Hugh Bowman. Form files, future winners with the Hutchbuster. Sweet in defeat. Who jumps in?
Got 3, and in particular, the one that we're going to take a look at, of course, is Star Figure. Now, this horse was a bit unlucky for Jamie Richards and co, fresh up. Look, he worked pretty well leading into this. He's back on the inside, and as they sweep into the home straight, Star Figure, I'm not sure there was ever quite a run there for him, but it clearly cost him victory anyway, and he's come back in good order. There was some market support around for Star Figure. I think with that clean run through, he gets through and wins the race. He wasn't beaten a big margin, so no one's fault, just the way that things work out in racing. And Star Figure, I thought, was a good performance.
Classic Happy Valley, hey?
It is.
That's the reality. And Shartin, you put a couple in from the Shartin meeting?
Sky Joy's got a good profile, lightly raced, and it was a great return considering how long he'd had off the scene. And Sky Vino was a terrific run. I know Casper Founds mentioned him on our show, and he actually hit the line really well, and it surprised me in a decent race.
Don't mind a Vino at 30,000 k's in the up in the air.
No, I bet,
that's right, 30,000 feet, whatever it is there, up in the sky. Sky Vino. What about your top rater?
Yeah, we've got a bit to go through. The top rater was My Wish, and he's put up a very good number here. Got him rated 92.
Wow.
Of course, it was in the Shartin Trophy, and it was a really good performance. It was just a great effort, and I think, he's a horse that's going to be headed towards December with some confidence.
Shane, what did you make of My Wish?
Oh, he was very good, of course. He got a good ride. He come across easy. The other horse, Co-Partner Prance, was always going to lead drawn inside of him, so he just tracked him across, and he really quickened up at the Furlong, like a very good horse. He had no weight though, so he was entitled to, but he's so consistent. He puts himself in the right posse, and I'm sure he's going to win a big race here in the next 12 months.
Yeah, perfect example of weights and measures, wasn't it? You know, you hear a lot of discussion about weights and measures don't matter, but this was a great example.
Oh, it was. And he's going to, that sort of figure that I've got him running, he's going to need to improve on that when he goes back to weight for age. But there was a talking point, Shane, in the race, and it was Voyage Bubble. I know you're pretty big on this. A horse that's resuming, first up with the weight. It was an opportunity for Matthew Poon. Tell us your thoughts.
It was terrible. You just don't do that on a good horse. You don't dig him to go forward 400 metres after the start, even if you're deep. It could actually set him back a long way. I see it a lot in racing. Good horses overtaxed. Matthew last year, I was giving so much credit and so much praise. He was riding so well. He was calm in races. He was following the right horses. He wasn't panicking. And all year I gave him points until the last 2 months. And something happened. He changed. And he started to panic, and he's come back like that, and he is not riding well at all, and he should be going back to last year and having a look early in the season. But that was a very, very bad ride. Very bad.
Do you think it was a case, I mean, do you think with Matthew he's trying to make something happen and it's...
Yes.
You know, he's trying too hard
Is that
almost?
because he's devoid of confidence?
Trying too hard.
Yeah.
He's trying too hard. You can't do that. You got to let it happen. And that horse was just way too close. But when he's digging him with 135 pounds to go forward, now the thing I'm worried about is, will he come back from that? Some horses don't come back. It takes them a while.
Yeah, devoid of confidence. It's with great trepidation I ask you, Shane, were you ever devoid of confidence as a jockey?
But he was riding sensational last year, and he can get it back, but he's got to go back to watching the tapes of last year, what he was doing, saving ground. Now he doesn't want to save ground in a lot of races. He wants to get out and get going, whereas last year he was cutting the corner, holding them up. It's just a completely different jockey at present. Hopefully he can get it back.
He treated that question with a contempt that
it deserved.
Absolutely.
G1 Gold Mine, co-partner prance. What does it tell us?
It's just amazing. I really thought this horse would struggle over a trip. But when we looked the deep dive with the Group 1 Gold Mine distance profile, this horse actually bred and to perform over 16 and 1800. I thought he has predominantly been competing over 1200 metres in his career. He's going to go forward in some of these races. I've got him completely and utterly wrong. I have to reassess what I did because he battled on well behind my wish after getting the lead there, and the pedigree is saying respect. So I don't know where they'll go with him, but maybe they can go to a mile.
It sounded like the Fonz admitting that he was wrong.
Yeah.
But you might have got it wrong.
I might have got it wrong.
You will. I'll tell you who never gets it wrong, and that is the Golden Boy, the Hall of Famer. It's idle time. Idle time, the Hall of Fame jockey assesses the rides all around the globe, and you've got your eye on one ride in Australia.
Yeah, Zach Purton on a Rothfire. Watch this from gate 16. It's amazing. So we jump here from 16. He jumps well. He goes forward, and he's looking the whole time to get in. It's quite incredible. Now, he's going to get in up here. You'll see him, and he's coming across, but the horse in front of him, the yellow, just shifts out a little bit. Now, this is really hard to get in here, and he's got to come back. He squeezes him back there, and he comes back, and he gets in. Now he's 3 deep, but he squeezes this horse a little bit, one off the fence, who's one off the fence in the blue cap, and he ends up one off there way before the turn. Unbelievable. Now, you know how I've been telling you, I want everyone to watch the horse in the white with the blue cap following Sack, who's in the pink, who's running 5th. Now, you know how I said horses can't make that long run? He's starting to push him here to go past, and he goes past Sack, but Zach hasn't moved on his, right? He's waited, and the other horse you think's going to beat him, but because Zach hasn't used that energy like the other horse has for 100 metres, when Zach pulls the stick and gets into him a little bit, he fights back and he actually beats him. It was a great ride, fantastic ride, and Zach is just riding so well at present, boys. He's on a different level.
Yeah, he's killing it. He's right on YING Rising. I know it looked a little easy from afar, but it was absolutely centimetre perfect.
Yeah, and it was centimetre perfect. And Rob Heathcote actually did a nice piece on social media for Zach, saying what a fantastic ride it was.
So 3 votes to Zach Purton. Lyle Hewitson 2 and Alexi Bedell get 1.
Yeah, well, look who's that's outstanding with Lyle. He drew gate 9. He normally gets back. He jumped him. He had him third the fence and the race was over. He was a big go on the night, actually. I think he was 26s or something into $9. But he just gave him a perfect ride. And Alexei, I thought he rode the first very well. He was off the fence, but he was looking to get to it at the 600 and switched. And that's what won him the race.
Zach Burton leads with 8 votes, so he's taken over from Jerry Chow now. So it just feels right, doesn't it? So Zach on top. This has rocked the social media world of horse racing. Here are the comments of Maureen Haggis, the wife of William Haggis, about the ride of Zach Burton on Lake Forest in the King Charles last week.
Lake Forest, well, as far as I'm concerned, Lake Forest never had a race. I mean, it was about the worst ride I think I've ever seen in my entire life. I was appalled, absolutely appalled. We went all that way, and I mean, I don't know Zach Burton at all, but I mean, it was just dreadful. It was so disappointing because everyone knows he's a horse that you have to get, you have to tell him he's got to do it, and he knew that, and he was told it, and he just sat there like a big sissy. It just makes you realise how lucky we are with the jockeys we have in England, Ireland and France when you compare them to the rides we got on Saturday, which were, I say, really shockingly awful.
Extraordinary comments. Must have been watching a different race to me. But Shane, your opinion's more important. What did you make of Zach's ride and Maureen's comments?
Well, I didn't know my name was Maureen. Someone sent me the tape and I said, "Who's this?" And they said, "Karen."
Be nice.
and then I said, "Are you?" So I put the race on and I watched it again. Listen, Zach could have dug it out of the gates and had it up there, but forget that. He didn't do anything wrong, and I'd be the first to say something. But I think she's married to the right person, because then I looked and, the guy sent me a video of William Haggis criticising Oseen Murthy. And it was disgraceful how he was going on. And I thought, well, they suit each other. It would be a great marriage at home, bagging every jockey after the race. So they deserve each other, both of them.
Well, I tell you what, the one thing that I will say is, yes, Zach ended up on 600 metre mark. He's on the back of Cheerwolf. Cheerwolf then put 6 on him.
Exactly.
So, as Zach's pushed the button, off goes the winner. What's he done wrong?
I mean, I don't know if you can watch that race and have that thought process. I thought it was very disappointing, actually, all round. I thought the comments were quite arrogant. I thought they were ignorant as well, to be honest. And some of the language I thought was ludicrous to call, in this day and age as well, to be called, using the words like sissy and all that. So I don't think it was really founded in any way, shape or form. It was really disappointing.
And disparaging in regards to, James McDonald got a mention. Zach Burton, I don't even know who Zach Burton is. Well, Zach Burton's a Hall of Fame jockey who's won at Royal Ascot, if you don't mind. He's won all around the world. He is an absolute world-class jockey. So,
I'll ask you this, Richo. Richo, this is a good thing. If she didn't know who Zach Burton was, why did they put him on?
Great question. Well, 100%. He had, it was only a small field. He had the pick of the entire jockey's room.
And the assertion that there's no good riders outside of Europe and the rest of the world, or even the implication that you could, got to be a sissy and you're not any good either. I mean,
mate,
ridiculous.
You know what? Quality riders all around the world are to be respected. That's what I said.
Absolutely.
And also, Cheerwolf's to be respected. Put the blinkers back on. He goes back-to-back in the King Charles. A product, once again, of New Zealand. This New Zealand bloodstock is quite remarkable.
And you know what? The key is as well today, because today for the Breeze Up, which is very popular with all the Hong Kong buyers, of course, they'll be heading down in droves as they usually do. But the videos are out today, so you can watch all those Breeze Ups with NZB. Success rates through the roof, and Cheerwolf's just another one of them.
Yeah, well, continuing on.
Richo?
Yes.
Richo, what ran second in the race?
In Cheerwolf's race?
Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
Mr. B, from New Zealand.
Oh, Mr. Brightside. Well, he cost $22,000 at the sales at Karaka, and then he was passed in at, I think, $50,000 at the Ready to Run. Yeah. Another one.
From New Zealand.
What run, Richo? What run third in the Everest?
That was Jimmy Starr from New Zealand.
Another one that was at the Karaka sales. What won the race? Not a Kiwi, another one.
He should be in the All Black top today. We need him in the All Black top, don't we?
I had a function last night with James McDonald. I got the same nonsense from him as well. Someone mute his mic. The Kiwis, the K1W1s are running riot. Let's continue celebrating everything brilliant from around the globe.
Racing in the Cox Plate. Romantic Warrior jumped away well. Romantic Warrior 3 and 4 deep on the first corner. 1,400 metres to go. And it's King Colorado in front. Fourth is Romantic Warrior up to the corner. Zaki claims King Colorado. Romantic Warrior 4 deep, a length and a half off them. Mr. Brightside off the fence, needs room. And then came Jewis into the straight. Romantic Warrior the outside. Alligator Blood at the 100. Romantic Warrior, Mr. Brightside. Still Alligator Blood. Mr. Brightside coming at it with Romantic Warrior. It's a photo finish. Romantic Warrior is going to get up by a nose.
Describe what you're feeling at the moment. Looking around this big crowd, you've won the Cox Plate.
First thing, I'd like to thank Moonee Valley Racing Cup, especially Michael, John, Paul and Lawrence. And second, I want to say I come from China, Hong Kong, the Hong Kong Jockey Cup. Then need some team. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You've travelled horses. You've been to Royal Ascot and won Group 1s.
Yeah.
Describe this feeling of winning here at the Cox Plate.
I'm very happy. I don't know how to tell you how happy I am. But I tell you, I'm really, very, very happy.
You can imagine how big this will be for Hong Kong racing.
Absolutely. It will be a great win for the owner. And I'd like to thank Peter. Peter, the owner, made the decision to come here. James McDonald, all the team, all the Hong Kong fans, my wife Christy, my son Aaron. I love you, I love you!
Well, the mighty Whirlpool covers all 10 races from the Valley on the weekend. What a day it is going to be, and they've got a lot to celebrate because Caulfield Cup Day was fantastic from a Whirlpool scenario. What a win to Half Yours. The great story, Jamie Mellom, the first female rider to ever win a Caulfield Cup, and did it for Tony and Calvin McAvoy.
Yeah, it was a great moment for them and a great moment for Jamie as well. And brilliant ride. It was a good ride. It looked the handicapping good thing of the day and in that race. And it's one thing being the favourite, another thing delivering. So a really good performance. And like you said, from a Whirlpool point of view, what a big day. I mean, we had just great racing all around the globe on that occasion.
And from a Melbourne Cup point of view, Shane, Half Yours did receive a penalty. We'll meet the likes of River of Stars and Valiant King worse off at the weights. River of Stars ran second, Valiant King and Eyecatcher into third. And Maidan, who covered a lot of extra ground, has a new jockey in James McDonald to ride the Melbourne Cup. What did you think?
Yeah, well, he did cover ground. He kept getting to the line when he was gone, so it was a good run. It was a great ride by Jamie, gave it a perfect ride. Didn't bustle it too much early, got into a nice posse and down the side at about the 700-800 come off further to give it a clear run. And as we discussed last week, we thought it would be 220 instead of the 280, 290, and it firmed up. I thought Richo, the fourth horse, went enormous, the grey horse.
Oh, yeah.
I thought his run was very, very good.
Yeah, no doubting that. And actually, it had given a nice ride as well. So that's another live chance when we get to the 2 miles of the Melbourne Cup. But for the Melbourne Racing Club, they've got so much to celebrate. It was a wonderful cup, helped by the big fella upstairs. The weather was superb throughout and everyone celebrated in style. And while Caulfield was fantastic, that was the start of the Whirlpool coverage, because then we went over to both Brazil and also to Ascot Champions Day, and always a highlight. And it's interesting, isn't it? When they get to that rain-affected track, suddenly the results at the end of a long season start to flip around a bit.
Well, they do a little bit. It's a long season for them as well. And I suppose this Champions Stakes Day, this is pressure in the Arc, because a horse like Calandigan, who, by all accounts, would easily beat the Arc winner, according to his trainer at home, just showed why it's a shame that Geldings can't race in the Arc. So I know a lot of people like it as a big race, but for me, I prefer others where they can compete. And what about Joe Moreira as well? This is elation, pure elation from Joe, winning the big one in Brazil.
Yeah, winning the Grand Premiero Latino Americano on a horse called Apatea.
Yeah.
And he absolutely loved it. So the Brazilian superstar who's travelled the globe and won Group 1s all around the globe, comes back home. So important to win their great races.
Yeah, and this is the one he wants to win. This is the race that he says it's tough. It's like winning the Melbourne Cup in that part of the world. So he was absolutely elated. Good on him.
He is a superstar jockey, Richo.
There's
not many, but he's one of them.
There's no doubting that. And hopefully we'll see him in Hong Kong during the international meeting. So from a world pool, this is going to be a very special day on Saturday at the Valley. The undercard at the Cox Plate. Let's start with the Crystal Mile here, Hutch. It's an interesting race here. There's a few question marks on a couple. Von Hawk ran 4th in the race last year. He's one of the key runners.
Was a little bit unlucky on that occasion as well. And, this is a horse that I think could run really well. He got a long way back, of course, last start. And that was, just the way the race was run. He wasn't really entitled to get home and get as close as he did at Flemington over 1,400. You've mentioned the fact that he's gone well in this race in the past. I think he's very, in the fixed odds markets, look, he's an each-way price. I think he's an each-way play in the world pool side of things. I think he'll run a big race. So I'm sure that he's a good starting point and maybe a banker in that. But there's a couple in there that are in very good form as well.
Well, O2 Good's the mare in form. Whether or not she's well off at this weight scale is going to be interesting, but she should get a nice run.
We're seeing a replay of her run too. She had a charmed run. They went no gallop here. She had the beautiful run. She steps up against Stronger. She is a progressive mare and it's a great story surrounding her. But I think that this is tougher. And I think she's under the odds. So she's got to be in the mix. But I think Von Hawk's a better valued selection. And of course, Rise at Dawn's got a great chance in the race, and we know how well he profiles.
Yeah, he's the map horse for mine. I think he's scratched from Sydney. I think he's saved for this, and he looks really well placed. Shane, how did you see it?
I've got the 4 on top, Rose at Dawn. He's just going to get an easy run on pace, and his run the other day was good. I thought Desert Lightning had a wide run last start, could improve, and the horse Clint said, Von Hawk, he looked good there, didn't he, getting to the line?
And then we get to the McEwen Stakes. It'll be interesting as we look at the field here for race number 8. And there's quality from top all the way down to bottom. Don't rule out the one at the bottom who caught the eye, and that was Vestas.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about Vestas. I mean, normally I don't go with this with a horse that's sort of out of the handicap, is the term they'd use in Hong Kong and probably globally for that matter. But her sectionals this day were quite extraordinary. She got a long way back. Yeah, it wasn't easy to make up ground. She settled back. She ripped off some of the best closing sectionals of the whole meeting. She'll strip fitter. She'll need a bit of luck. She's drawn in gate 4, so hopefully she's not too far back. But there's good speed in this race. There's really good speed, and I think if you can run on this track and she gets the right run, we're yet to see the best out of her, and she could once again win at a nice each-way price.
Now, Neon's, I reckon, will be just ready to peak. Tropicus was run down by the champ in Giga Kick. No knock at all on that performance. Who do you have on top in this?
Yeah, well, Tropicus was fantastic, wasn't he? And, like you said, Giga Kick was back to his best, almost back to his best there. So if Tropicus runs to that, he'll be there for a long way. The 1,200 could be a little bit of a query for him, and Neon's will run well. Once again, 1,200's interesting. No, I'm going to just say Vestas each way. I think that's the way to play it.
Shane, how'd you see it?
I'll go Charm Stone. Good win last start, got a great ride. It was a Group 1 race. Got an awkward gate, though, Clint, gate 9, but... she's racing well, so I'll go Charm Stone from probably the 9, the 8, the 7, something like that, the bottom ones.
I think she's earned that top selection, hasn't she? She is a Group 1 performer. And then we get to the Vars, race number 9. And the good thing licked, if you like, in the Caulfield Guineas was Observer, and no doubt this will be the favourite in the race.
Yeah, it will be the favourite. It'll be tough to beat. It looks, I think it goes very well. Yeah. Most people can say it was unlucky. I think it probably wins. You could certainly make that argument, although I don't want to take too much away from Autumn Boyd. Nonetheless, in this instance, we'll go forward, be right there on speed. It's going to be short, and it's going to be tough to beat. I know you were a fan last time as well, Richo, really but looks the one. We're going to have a look at Crack a Deal, though, because this is a horse that I think can run well at a price, if you want to have a Quinella. I think this is a galloper that can bounce, put itself on speed. It was in a pretty ordinary race at Warrnambool, but the overall time of this race was good. Progressive type, with I think Henry Dwyer, can just put itself right there on speed and run a bit of a race. Yes, it's a harder event, but I think the map really favours this horse. So maybe if you're going to have a Quinella with the Observer, you could throw in Crack a Deal.
What do you think, Shane?
I've got the one winning. I thought it would have won the Caulfield Guineas if he could have got that run when he went for it. If he runs 2,000 metres, he wins for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Okay.
I've got 1-5 preference and the 3, 1-5-3.
Okay, so Social Stable coming up, a stack of winners as well. And don't forget with the Whirlpool, all 10 races covered on the Whirlpool from the Valley on Saturday. Our Social Stable is led by the New Zealand Bloodstock, ready to run sale. It's going to be an absolute cracker at Karaka, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you like that? 12th and 13th of November.
Yes, it is.
And I can imagine the whole of the racing world, especially Hong Kong, got their eye on it.
They will be there. They'll be there in their droves. And like I said, all that information will come out today in terms of the actual breeze up, so you can watch that. Book your tickets. Get down there. November 12th, 13th. It'll be a great week, and there'll be plenty of future stars purchased there.
Golden Boy, you'll be there, won't you, front and centre?
Yeah, well, they'd be there. You only got to go onto their website, newzealandbloodstock.com, I think it is, and you can watch their replays of their 400-metre gallops. They're very, very good to watch, and it's a good site where you can see their breeding and everything, and there's so many winners. We forgot to mention my favourite horse at that stage, Lucky Sway Ness. He was from there. $90,000.
He is your favourite, yeah.
It is. What a return that is. And there's so many examples of that. So check it out. The Karaka Sales Centre, Wednesday the 12th and Thursday the 13th of November. Make sure you check it out. Hey, also, Hong Kong international races, entries close soon.
We also want some Aussie representation, don't we? Come on, guys, enter, get up there. And, they've been very competitive in the past, so let's hope that can be the case again. But, yeah, the entries close soon.
Yeah, we saw that last year, didn't we, with Tony Golan grabbing Antino. Look, it didn't pan out for him there, but he's come back and he's probably gone, to a whole different level
and
since.
Mr. Brightside might have come back and gone well too.
But surely we'll get sprinters this year because our sprinters aren't very good.
Yeah, yes. There you go.
From Australia going up there, Richo.
He's a bit salty. Brittany Wong has been cleared to ride at Happy Valley, Shane, so there's a tick.
That's great. Hopefully she'll do well. She's been riding okay at Sharton. A lot harder, Happy Valley, tighter circuit, but all the best to Brittany, and I hope she conquers Happy Valley.
Okay, best bets time. Pens are now poised. Hutch, your best.
Yeah, best bets for the card. Look, I think Honlock Golf has a really good chance at the meeting. I like him. I think he's got a good chance. I want to take some Quinellas. I think that you have to include a couple of runners in the field. One of them is Ruby Lot. We heard Hugh. He's pretty happy with that horse. And Johannes Brahms will have Hugh and Zach on side with regard to that. So that would be my best, race 6, number 4 in the queue with 2 and 5. And Gentleman Legacy, potentially another winner there maybe for Zach as well. He's a nice progressive stayer, and I think he will be tough to beat.
You have certainly already left a legacy, and you are the consummate gentleman, Golden Boy. Who do you like?
I'll go winning champion. What do we got? Race 2, number 8. Meets motor 6 pounds better and has gate 1 on the inside of him this time. So hopefully he can turn that 2 lengths around. Won't be easy, but he gets his chance from gate 1. Matthew Pern's on him. So come on, Matthew, produce an outstanding ride. I might give you some points if you do.
Oh, please do that. And Shane, enjoy Cox Plate weekend where you will welcome maybe a new jockey into your Cox Plate winning jockey club, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's quite sad. This is the last Cox Plate there at Moonee Valley on this track. So it's a sad day for me because that track is the atmosphere. It's amazing.
We'll be sending it off in style. Hutch, good luck for you. Thanks, everyone, for watching the show. We'll be back next week with a Triple Trio.